Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have a project to share with you. This is back by demand. So one of my recent Stamps the Mail Club project kits used the pop-up corner card as a card base, but this time we are going to make this book and turn those into an album. So cute sunburst on the front, stay tuned for that in February, Stamps the Mail Club. And then on the inside, when you open your album, you have all of these fun pages. So the whole thing together looks like this. So all kinds of fun in there as a big birthday card or as an album to share with someone, but I know you're going to want to learn how to make this. So let's get stamping and I'll give you the tips and tricks, including how to line up your letters perfectly. So let's get stamping. Alright, so we're going to need these 4 8.5 by 8.5 inch square pieces of cardstock from our kit. We're going to need this bag with the sunburst die cut in it, and watch for February Stamps the Mail Club for more on that. And then from this kit, we're going to borrow this piece here. So go ahead and grab your craft scissors, your ribbon scissors here. Trim the ends because we don't need this extra side piece, but this is how the party pop-up die comes through so that you can use it as a pop-up. We're just going to use this as an additional layer on our stained glass card, but we're going to use this here, so set that aside for this project. So I'm going to work on my book first, and to make my pages I'm going to use my Stampin' Trimmer. So these are square cardstock pieces, like I said, cut at 8.5 by 8.5. So what you're going to do is you are going to score at 4 1/4 inches and a plus sign on both sides. So that was a plus. Now without moving my paper, I'm going to come back with my trimmer blade and cut. So I just cut from here to here, so we have this kind of action going. The last score line is going to be a diagonal, and I'm going to score from the center here, so you know the cut line is in the center of the track, or the score line's in the center of the track, and then I'm going to line this top corner up right here. So I'm scoring from the center point to the top so that I have a diagonal there. Alright? So you're going to repeat that on all 4. If you don't have your Stampin' Trimmer handy, you can go ahead and just fold your cardstock. You'll probably want to use a bone folder to go ahead and crease. So open there, open here, and go ahead and fold here. You want to get these as square as possible. Definitely use a bone folder. And then you're going to use a pair of scissors to trim right here across the middle. Okay. And then finally we want this one to be folded. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to bring this corner down to the bottom to do our diagonal fold. Okay, so if you don't have your Stampin' Trimmer handy, you can do this method and then use a bone folder to crease everything. Okay, so same outcome. I just happen to like the Stampin' Trimmer. Okay, so to fold our pop-up, if you missed the video tutorial from last month, first thing you're going to do is fold down. So I have my open side here, my diagonal there. I'm going to fold down. I'm going to make an L shape. Remember, L for Loven Stamps. Woohoo! So my diagonal is here. I'm going to fold this baby across like this, and then my top panel folds down. And then there is our finished project. So we'll see it one more time. Fold down, make an L, bring this side in, add your adhesive, and I like fast fuse or tear tape for this adhesive location. And I'll go ahead and do all 4 sides. Then just bring your 4th corner in, and then you have your pop-up section. So like I said, go ahead and repeat that on all of your sides here so that you have 4 pop-up pieces ready to go. Once you have all 4 of your pieces, kind of get them in the order that you want. I kind of like the melon mambo, and then Sahara stand, crushed curry, and then mint macaron. And what I'm going to do is make sure you have the bottom down, so there's the bottom side. I'm going to start gluing these together, and again, fast fuse or tear tape are a good product for this part of the action. You want a really strong adhesive that isn't going to come apart with the wear and tear on the book. So go ahead and fold your pieces. Make sure, again, that they're oriented the same direction. I like to go ahead and put one down and then just match the next one up here at the bottom corners along these edge, and then squish it. Okay, so there we have the first part of our book. Next one, again, same deal. I'm just going to stack the next one on top. Again, check the orientation. Make sure you're not gluing one of your pages on upside down. And then the last page, I'm going to check the orientation and go ahead and glue this down. All right, so there we have our pop-up book. So really simple. You could do this with bigger pieces of cardstock too. You could use a 12 by 12 sheet, and then you'd have 6-inch panels. This is kind of a nice card because you could still stick it in a little envelope-ish if you wanted to. Okay, so before we do our next layer, what you want to do is get ready to add your strings. And so I'm going to pull these out. They are the combo pack from the Occasions catalog. They come melon mambo and mint macaron together with a black string. Super cute. And I'm going to grab a hole punch. You could also use a paper piercing tool or a thumbtack or something like that if you don't have a tool handy. But I'm going to go ahead and punch in the center of each card, front and back, just the front and the back on the covers, about 1/4 inch in from the end. And then I'm going to go ahead and string my string. And if you have trouble remembering which way to string it, just remember that you want your string to go outside across the back of your book. And then we're going to use our cover pieces on the front to trap it where we want it. So go ahead and fold your book shut, pull that string out so that it's about halfway, and then we are ready to go ahead and do this next step on the cover. Actually, if you want to just make life easier for yourself, go ahead and tie it shut, and that way it's not moving while you're trying to glue things. Always a helpful feature, right? Okay, so of all the fun pieces in here, okay, all that confetti is going to fall out. Try not to lose any letters. Those are all pre-die cut for you in your kit. And we need the cover of our book, which is going to be the circle and the sunshine here. So I'm going to start by putting adhesive on the back of our sunburst, and I'm going to then center this here on this black circle, which really helps that fun yellow sun to pop off the page. And then go ahead and fast fuse the back of this, and since this is the cover of a book, I'm going to go ahead and give it a lot more adhesive than I normally would, since we don't want this to come apart in your purse or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure your string is where you want it, because this is going to kind of trap it in place. And then I'm going to adhere this here on the front of our album. Okay? And see how that kind of holds the string in place. Alright, so there is our album cover. Next thing you're going to do is grab one of these Whisper White strips here. This is the narrow one for our Let's Party, and this is the bigger one for It's Your Day. So from my Pieces Flying It's Your Day stamp here, I am going to stick this here onto my clear block. And you can grab your markers, you can grab your stamp sets. The stamps included with Stamps in the Mail Club are the Melon Mambo ink pads, so go ahead and ink the top and bottom. And you can do this all in one step, or you can do it in 2 steps if you want to. Go ahead and take the time. And then wipe off some extra pink ink here. Grab my Crushed Curry marker. If you have markers, you can just marker everything on this, so you don't have to go back. And actually it's going to have just a little bit of pink running through the yellow, which I kind of like as a neat effect. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this as It's Your Day here. Okay, there we go. See how that pretty color is on there, just a little bit inside. And I'm going to go ahead and clip this into pieces. I'm going to probably trim just a little bit of the ends here so we have some sort of fun effect. Don't worry too much about your straight lines. The letters in the greeting actually aren't exactly straight. Like It's is a little bit crooked. It's kind of fun in a cockeyed way. And then grab a Stampin' Dimensional to pop on the back of each of these, because little dimensions always fun. And when you finish this book, if you're going to stick it in your purse or something, you might want to pop it back into the cello bag that your pieces come in from Stamps in the Mail Club. That way you can protect it in your bag. Okay, we have that, and next we need an Let's Party. Let's see, here it is, Let's Party. If you want to use a different greeting, of course this is your project. I'm not going to show up at your doorstep to check and see if you made your Stamps in the Mail Club exactly the way I made mine. And you know what, that was a little bit on the crooked side, more crooked than I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and back. No one will know, so don't tell them. And you can use dimensionals, or you can just stick this straight down on there. And last thing for the cover is our sequin trim. So in your packet is a lot more sequin trim than you really need. So just grab a couple of those sequins off there. I think I used 5 because designing in odd numbers is always a good choice, just visually pleasing. So grab a couple sequins, and my favorite sequin application method right now is the snail adhesive method. So what I do is I just put my sequin on the bottom side of my snail runner and run that right across there, and it picks up the adhesive to stick down on my project. So super quick, and the snail doesn't like goober out the side or anything like that. So check that fun method, and they're really quick to stick down. Okay, whoa, or fly across the table and stick to your stamping mat. Alright, so there's the cover of our album. Now we can untie it, and we will get started on the middle. So you have a variety of papers here. You can orient these in any way you want. Feel free to pick different sides to show if you choose. And my adhesive for this is going to be snail adhesive. These aren't going to go anywhere. No one's yanking on them or anything. So I like to lay that page down flat and then pop my layer inside. Now on the opposite side of the page is going to be a white layer, and those Whisper White layers have, you can add these fun little borders to them. So this one I'm going to use as a contrast color. So I'm going to use my snail here. If they're a tiny bit too long, make sure you just trim the end, no big deal. And then we are going to add this, but I need to show you how we're going to line up our hip hip hooray letters. So before I put this in the book, let me show you my tips. This is like super technique. I love this idea. As I was thinking, oh, I want to use that hip hip hooray part, I thought, oh my gosh, how would anyone ever line that up? So here's the answer. Start with your piece here, your die cut. Go ahead and flip it to the back side and pop in the letters. Now, if they don't fit easily, you might be trying to put the wrong letter in the wrong hole. So like this H here really fits in this hole and not the others. So the H's and the I's I think are your biggest ones that you'll want to watch for. But they came right out of here, so they will fit exactly right back in. Okay. Alright, once you have those back in there, I'm not going to do the exclamation mark because I questioned my ability to get it in there. Grab your snail, and there's a couple cool features of snail that will make this work really well. So what you want to do now is you want to snail right across those letters. Don't let them pop up, just keep them right in the track. And the snail has just enough body to it that it will hold those layers across there, because the next thing you're going to do is flip that over really gently. See how the snail's holding it? And you're going to kind of orient that on your paper, so it doesn't really matter where you stick it because we're going to add confetti. Now this part, what you want to do, grab like a marker, the tip of your scissors. You're going to press down, oh, don't use the tip of your scissors. Use the edge of the marker. The scissors kind of mark the paper. And you're going to press down each letter, okay, but try not to press down the surrounding area, because what we want to do now is peel up our background, because you need this for your other card. Okay, just gently, there we go. And what we have underneath is our perfectly spaced hip hip hooray. Isn't that fun? Okay, so with that done, then you can go ahead and add some adhesive here to the back of your confetti, and just add a couple confetti pieces. Let's see. I'll do one more over here. You can save some confetti pieces for other places in your book, whatever makes you happy. Alright, and then this layer here just gets snailed on the back so that we can pop it into our album. Alright, so that is pretty much how our book's going to go. These would be great places to add pictures. Here's the finished one. I'll show you the stamping I did on my other pages. You could add pictures here. You could add pictures or greetings down here at the bottom. On page 2, I put "It's time to celebrate with cake," which then leads to the next funny greeting, and ice cream, and more cake. And then happy birthday. Or if you want to, you could add in that calories don't count today, kind of greeting and stuff at the end. This is the stamp, the cake stamp and the candle stamp from your same stamp set. So you can go ahead and add those on as many pages you want, or add the confetti images, whatnot. But there is our finished pop-up card album, mini album project. So super fun way to use your Party with Cake stamp set and the pop-up party Thinlits. Like I said, in the information about Stamps in the Mail this month, if you want to, you can add the Party Pop-Up Thinlits, these fun guys here, to your Stamps in the Mail Club kit this month at a discount. If you don't want to add them, that's fine. Everything's pre-die cut for you, so no big deal. But if you want to get these, you think you're going to enjoy having them on hand for all the different projects you can do with them, then make sure you add them, because you can add them to your kit at a discount. So thanks so much for stamping with me by mail, for watching my videos. Be sure to give me a like on YouTube if you're watching there, so that I can know what you're liking, and we can get some more videos coming your way for projects. So thanks so much. This is Meg from Loven Stamps. Happy stamping.